Mimics. Monsters, Mimics, and Mysteries is a set of 34 tabletop gaming miniatures from under Dusk Miniatures. Available on Amazon.com. Will they HeroQuest? Let's just be honest, that's why you're here. But it is here that you are welcome. For welcome, brave heroes. I'm Ash, this is AshQuest, and today we are unboxing Monsters, Mimics, and Mysteries from under Dusk Miniatures. This is 30... I already said all that. Look at how weird the ultra-wide lens is. Hey, I must have those miniatures. Let me just reach over and get them. No special effects, just a really wide lens. We have Ziploc bags, proving that I'm not the only person in the world keeping them in business by using them for miniature storage. Take that, somebody out there at some point, I'm sure. The crown piece to all of this. The coupe de grace would be our chimera on the front here. Head of a dragon, head of a beastly lion, head of a ram with whom you just are compelled to make deals, dragon-like wings, beastly body of the lion, tail of a cobra. All of those details are represented here. Call it a 2x3 square table present, or a 3x3 if you want to make room for those wings. As miniatures go, I'll just get this one out of the gate right now. I don't dislike the detail. I think that the detail is vague. It's going to be like a slight percentage more vague once you get some primer and some paint on it, but honestly, could be better, could be worse. It's kind of the middle of the road as far as details go on miniatures for me. Now, I will say that some of these sculpts are, per the sculptor, things that they would have liked to have made more detailed, but making the dies to inject plastic into these molds costs money, and sometimes you have to cut back and compromise a little bit. And in this case, quality was the thing that was compromised. We're gonna leave that in. We're not even gonna do like a blooper reel. Quality was the thing that was compromised on. I shouldn't say quality necessarily. It's more just the detail. We have a rigid structure here. These guys aren't really... They're not super bendy, so I feel like if you do force their hand a little bit too much, you'll end up breaking them. But no, they do seem a little bit bendy where it counts, so I think that'll be all right. Certainly, I think you could probably... Oh wow, he landed on his feet. Just like all cats should. Counts as cat. I can totally see this creature climbing into a box and curling up into it. If it fits, it sits. We need to move on. I'm showing you the part about all of this that I like slightly less. I'm going to move into the thing that I like more. And I'm going to alternate showing you really cool stuff with really weird stuff that I don't know if you'll find it super cool or if you'll find it a little bit more off-putting, but we'll go ahead and look at all of it. We have Horsemen, very sinister, and one of the things that you're going to notice right off the bat is that these miniatures, while they do seem to follow a 28mm scale, pretty closely, maybe a 25, they are not heroic scale. Their heads, hands, and feet are not exaggerated. Well, again, as with anything, you can kind of shoehorn whatever skill you'd like in order to make things fit within your world, your narrative. But if you are trying to be specific and technical and objective as much as possible, these probably won't align with your HeroQuest miniatures. I've heard HeroQuest described as 32, I've heard 32 heroic, which I absolutely agree with. They're not going to mesh very well with contemporary HeroQuest. Not the humanoids, anyway. Not the ones that are overly humanoid like this guy. He's a total badass, and I would rock him in any RPG because this horse pose is awesome. The demonic head of the steed is wonderful. There are some strange details on here, like, is that how horse chest work? I don't think so. There are some slightly off-putting things, but honestly, very minor gripes. There's a little pumpkin at the feet, little skulls. There are actually small pieces of detail that you can appreciate once you look at this thing enough. And the rider kind of reminds me a little bit of the crow armor thing from Guts, from Berserk. We're gonna be really quick with this one. We've got like a potato man. That's it. It's just a potato man. This is one of your weirder sculpts. You won't get too many of these in this collection, but they do exist. So this is the sort of sculpt that, you know, it'll go with whatever game you want, because even though there might be a predefined scale within the set, again, it doesn't matter once you take it out and you say, well, he's supposed to be this big. This is a potato man from HeroQuest. Then he meshes perfectly. If you are playing with your Nolzur's D&D miniatures, then you should just unsubscribe right now, because what are you doing? Why are you squandering your talent, your ability, your potential to move on to better sculpts? But if you are using Nolzur's, these guys will actually mesh really, really well with the Nolzur's. They seem to be a very close scale, and the Nolzur's are not heroic. So I think that this would be fine. And you don't have to use these with any other set or game or anything like that. You can just use them with themselves. It's not actually important to talk about the compatibility with everything when this is really sold as your all-in-one solution to a game in 5e. And the comparisons are just things that I like to do because so many of the people here, so many of the viewers are watching for the HeroQuest content and for the vintage dungeon crawler content. Well, I'm absolutely happy to serve that, and I'm happy to make notes of what looks like it could be compatible, or at least show you. I'll give you my opinion, but I'll show you, because at the end of the day, you're going to run your game your way. You're not going to listen to the ramblings of some mad YouTuber person whom you've never met. And I really like this sculpt. I don't care about the inconsistencies with scale across games or whatever. This sculpt is really, really rad because this is just a wicked, wicked harp. This fawn, or perhaps satyr bard, so cool. I actually think fawn. I'm seeing female coded in the sculpt. Moving on, we've got this overladen sort of demonic entity. He looks like he could be a shopkeeper. I think he'd work pretty well. He has oversized hands and feet due to them being beastly, and horns. So yeah, give me this guy in my games. I'll use him as an intra-dungeon shopkeeper, a merchant in the middle of the quest. A mistake was made, and I was actually sent 2 of these dragon knight people. So now I can use them as like statues guarding a door. Yeah, they're going to be the statues that guard the door to my monstrous mimics and mysteries room. This guy I would like to put down immediately. He's one of those tentacle faces like from Elden Ring, and absolutely disgusting. Something else I wanted to share from the creator of these minis is that we should be able to see, with these being successful and funded and getting sold actively and stuff, and hopefully this video helps out with some of that as well, we should be able to see better detailed sculpts as time goes on. Not only because the dies will become more within the affordability for the creator to make better detailed sculpts, but I believe the creator will probably have progressed his skill at that point as well. Not saying that these aren't skillfully made. I could not make sculpts like this, not without a couple of years or more in the Blender trenches, or ZBrush, or whatever 3D modeling program people are using to make stuff like this these days. But I can't imagine that we won't see more skillfully made, more clever, more detailed, in new places sculpts from this creator over time. We do have a pack that is coming up at the time of recording of this video, an elemental pack, I believe. Here are 3 more sculpts I want to show you and talk about. This is a little warrior based on an axolotl. I love it. I love this guy. He's great. He is fantastic. Little axolotl warrior. And then we've got this mushroom creature who's come to life and is stalking the woods or the swamp or the dungeons. There could be mushrooms growing in the dungeon. He has excellent balance. You're not knocking him over accidentally. And then finally, out of this pack, we've got this dude who is trying the tickle your tummy and do a circle on your head with your staff challenge. He is very strange, but he could be an NPC. He could come up out of the ground, and I don't know what this thing is supposed to be around him. You could use your imagination. It could really be anything. Hair, tendril, tentacle, anything. We have completely filled up the center room, but I want to show you the second bag. I really like what's in this bag. This is more representative of the mimics side of things. So, opening this up, we've got some really cool stuff here. And I think it's really cool because it's cool dungeon decoration, dungeon dressings. That's my jam. Give me more of that any day of the week. We have stuff you can absolutely throw all over your HeroQuest dungeon. Scale be damned. HeroQuest doesn't follow its own scale anyway. You can play with this stuff in new ways, combine it with furniture that's already in the game, make up your own rules about how to interact with it, or if it's just decorative, that's fine too. Dragon Skull is one of them. And I gotta show you these pumpkins. We have a jack-o'-lantern here. which already looks sinister and evil and like it has body points and attack dice when you turn your back, and it takes up a square just perfectly on this 1-inch grid. This, by the way, you'll have noticed if you haven't already asked in the comments, this is not the typical HeroQuest board. This is a stylized, beautiful dungeon mat. That's what they're called, beautiful dungeon mats by Ian Schofield. Got a whole video on these bad boys. They're available from Drive-Thru RPG, and this was printed on a 36 by 36 through Inked Gaming on a neoprene mat, and they look stunning. They are perfect for neoprene. Really takes the gloss out of anything if you're trying to record. They're wonderful and amazing. I will never not be appreciative of the beautiful dungeon mats line. Anyway, we have our mimic version of that very same pumpkin. I don't think your adventurers were going to be fooled for 1 second by this specific sculpt. I think that they were going to try to stomp the pumpkin and roll for success regardless. But both of these pumpkins can be stationary. They can just be pumpkins that are decorative. They can both be enemies in your dungeon crawler, whatever you want. We have a dragon literally hatching out of the egg as we speak. This dragon can also be dungeon dressing. It can just be a statue resting upon a plinth of some kind or table, something decorative for the heroes to interact with, and when they try to move it, it's actually a lever that opens up a door elsewhere in the dungeon. And the door, by the way, can be one of these doors that are also included with this pack. We only get 2, and honestly, we only get this one that's this way, and then we get another one that is the mimic version of the door. I'm sorry, but if you only have 1 door to a pack, and then your players notice that it's a different door than all of the other doors that you're using for your assets, they're probably going to be a little bit wary of it. And honestly, you'll probably use it just 1 time, because once the mimic thing happens the first time, they're always going to be checking that specific door. Then you'll have to get wise and use this mimic sculpt for other doors, but it won't feel right. You know, it sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm not really complaining. But I am trying to paint a realistic picture. We have this whirlpool sort of, you know what, I'm not actually certain. It looks like it's a curse waiting to happen, a sort of magic effect or spell waiting to happen. You can absolutely have this be standalone. Oh, these doors are not very well balanced either. They do knock over very easily. And you can put your heroes in it to reflect that they have something going on with them, but it extends past the 1-inch grid quite a bit, past the hero's own base, so it would be best to have this like trap the hero in a 2x2 square of the room, and once that hero is freed, they go back to their single square convention. We have a grave. Rest in peace, whoever this was. In this grove, we have a set of hands. What's going on here? Does the adventurer need to plunge their sword deep into the soil? Well, I don't think that will matter too much, because the mimic is actually in the gravestone. Yes, the mimic has come to life. It is the grave itself. That is just horrifying. How unsacred. Is nothing sacred anymore. Don't worry, for after they have gotten through that ordeal, there is a magical book laying on the ground. Wonderful treasure, takes up 1 tile. Hero can walk over it, pick it up, add it to their inventory, and then, after they have done so, you can proudly reveal that the book was actually a mimic also. This little guy cracks me up. I love the sort of implied expression that it has with all of its teeth. It's like, I tricked you. You thought you were reading Love and Peace, but you're really reading How to Get Eaten by a Mimic. Mimics aren't known for their sense of humor. If you're rocking Mage of the Mirror, you can actually put a couple of these decorative mirrors. These are kind of the same size as Mantic's body length floor-to-ceiling mirrors as well, even though, you know, your HeroQuest folks are going to have to look down a bit. It's perfectly fine because the mirror itself is slanted, so that's kind of expecting that behavior, and it works out really well. But don't look too close, because that mirror is also a mimic. I'm so sorry. I think this is the last mimic in this pack. So yeah, absolutely worth it if you want to troll your heroes about 100 times per quest with nothing but mimics everywhere. They'll get wise to it, so you'll have to kind of like intersperse it with perfectly harmless stuff like the dragon hatching. And by the way, my dragon seems to have lost a wing, so I could take advantage of the boasted and claimed wonderful support that this particular brand offers through their Amazon store, but I don't see it as being necessary. I'm just going to slap some gel glue on that, shove that back in there. But if you don't want to do that, then you can absolutely reach out. They should have excellent customer service. It really looks like they are willing to go above and beyond to make sure that you receive quality minis that are undamaged. Now, having said that, I do hope that this is the kind of feedback that will let them see what exactly is prone to that sort of damage and how to design the miniatures such that they don't have these sorts of problems. You know, at least as far as these sculpts with this material goes. You know, we have 4 more things with the Monsters, Mimics, and Mysteries packs. One is just a regular old vampiric sarcophagus that you could just lay that down anywhere, and honestly it's a bit small, but it's decorative and that's fine. Then we have a basket of eggs. We have a nest, not a basket. This nest has 3 eggs. You can really play this however you want. These can be dragon eggs, these can be bird eggs, these can be magical eggs, they can be golden. You could pick up several different ones and paint them to be different things. You could have a quest that is Easter themed and your heroes have to go Easter egg hunting. Sky's the limit. All right, we have a pile of bones. Just bones. Bones, bones, bones. And there is a bones tile with HeroQuest, so I think this would be a perfect replacement for that. You have a pile of bones that represents something wicked has happened in the room that you're in or blocking off part of the corridor. Your adventurer could interact with it, pull out some treasure, pull out some bones. I want to show off my favorite sculpt. One of my favorite sculpts out of this whole thing, this cauldron. HeroQuest is in dire need of a cauldron, and this one is overflowing, bubbling. It has a hand snaking out of it for some ungodly, creepy reason, which is hilarious. It's like the most detailed hand I've ever seen, and it's just like coming out of this cauldron like something's being summoned. I would like for it to be a more neutral cauldron. Like, I want the cauldron just to be bubbling. Maybe we could have an empty one too, but the one with the hand coming out's fine. It's fine. So like out of all this stuff, I would be very likely to keep a lot of these dungeon scenery sculpts for sure. I think this creator would do well to release a door pack and to make sure that this semicircle that's on one side at least extruded a little bit to the other side so that there was a little bit more balance. This door leans a little bit, but this mimic really wants to fall backwards. But yeah, the more doors we have, the better, right? Give us all the doors. And that is Monsters, Mimics, and Mysteries. 34 tabletop gaming miniatures from Dusk Miniatures. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you are watching this far, that means you must have liked the video, so go like that video. Helps the algorithm, really helps Ash. Very much appreciated. Comment your favorite HeroQuest character for engagement, or even better, comment your favorite sculpt out of all of these for engagement. And me and my ungodly long arms will see you in the next video. Bye for now.